So here we are in N5 for what's going to be the first of 4 Champions League semi-finals for Arsenal. Arsenal women obviously taking on Lyon today here at Emirates Stadium, and huge game for the club. Again, 12:30 kickoff. Don't think that's a great kickoff slot, to be honest. I wish UEFA would stop doing it, but it is what it is. About 40,000 expected here today. I think we'd be much closer to a sellout with a better kickoff time, but anticipation really building. Obviously huge week for the club in terms of Europe, and we're looking for another big European result today against probably the Real Madrid of women's football, it has to be said, with Lyon, the record 8-time winners, the last time they won it in 2023. And it also brings Arsenal face to face with their former manager Joe Montemurro, who's the last Arsenal manager to win the WSL title. And Arsenal will be slight underdogs coming into this, particularly I think some of the injuries on international duty have been very damaging. Daphne van Domselaar not going to play in either leg, I don't think. So Manu Zinsberg, a very capable deputy, but I do think losing Van Domselaar is going to be a blow, because Lyon, they are going to have chances. They have possibly the best attack in the world. They have a lot of transitional threat through players like Tabitha Chawinga and Diani as well. So Arsenal are really going to have to look after that. Lyon score a lot of goals, and not just in France, but in this competition as well. And the doubts over Alessia Russo and Chloe Kelly, I think, really key as well, because those players have been so good and so important. René Slegers says they are available for today. Not sure whether we'll see them start. Not sure whether they'll be capable of 90 minutes, probably not, and I think that's a big blow. But you know, this is a two-legged tie, and René Slegers said yesterday in her pre-match press conference, this is our chance. I think Arsenal know that they really need to try and go to Lyon with a lead and to use home advantage today. So we'll see how it turns out, but first and foremost, really exciting game. These teams met in the 2011 semi-final. Lyon came out on top on that occasion, but this is a big opportunity for Arsenal. I think they are capable of winning this tie, but they're going to have to do a lot of the work here today, I think. So we're underway here, Arsenal against Lyon, and the big news, I think, the thing that everyone was looking at was whether Alessia Russo would be able to start the game. They have judged that she's fit enough to start. Her knee heavily strapped. I hope that's not too much of a gamble, particularly with a second leg in mind next week. But see, this is going to be a really tough test, because Lyon, like most elite teams, have so many different ways they can hurt you, but particularly the speed of their front three in Diani, Chawinga and De Mornay, absolutely rapid. So they're going to carry a lot of counter-attacking and transitional threat, but Arsenal are really going to want to push home their home advantage here. So it's 1-0 Lyon, and we talked a little bit before the game about the threat they pose, particularly out wide, and it's Diani who's put Lyon in front. It looked offside, I have to say, and initially Diani drills the ball into the net, and then the offside flag goes up. However, there's been a VAR check, and the goal has been ruled okay to stand, and it's not a huge surprise maybe that Lyon would target Arsenal's left-hand side, where they do tend to leave a little bit of space, but at the same time, Diani is such a quality player. She's sprung the offside trap. It looks like Emily Fox might have just about played her onside. Haven't seen a really detailed replay yet, but it's 1-0 to Lyon. So we're halfway through the first half here, and it's 1-0 Lyon, and at the moment, I think the priority for Arsenal is not to let this tie get away from them. Lyon looks so dangerous every time they come forward, and I think you'd see immediately as well how the level goes up compared to the WSL, how much better they look after the ball, how much stronger they are in the duels than almost every WSL team, maybe apart from Chelsea, and that level's kind of gone up, and I feel like Arsenal, they need time maybe to acclimatise to that a little bit, but Lyon looks so threatening every time they come forward. And at the moment, I think the real priority is for Arsenal to not let this tie get away from them and stick in there. So it's half-time here at Arsenal Stadium, as I'm obliged to call it on UEFA nights, and it's Arsenal 0, Lyon 1. And I think it's fair to say for the first half an hour of this game that Arsenal were on the back foot. Really, Lyon take the lead, They hit the bar. Daniela van der Donk has a great chance that she misses. And we have a saying in England that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And I think the first half an hour you could see Arsenal were getting punched in the face by Lyon's quality, how well they hold on to the ball, how quickly they transition, how good they are in duels. This is very much a level up against most of the teams you'll play in the WSL. But to Arsenal's credit, they hung in there, and I think the last 10 minutes of the half, they came back up to the level, particularly Lyon's physical level. I do think the game has been made a little bit more difficult by some pretty questionable refereeing. I think Daniela van der Donk is lucky to stay on the pitch, quite frankly, for an on-the-ball incident with Beth Mead, but in the end, Arsenal, they have a really good chance through Lesia Russo hitting the crossbar. And, listen, Arsenal do not deserve to be level in this game at all. In fact, they're slightly fortunate it hasn't completely run away from them. However, they've stuck in there. I think they've come back up to the level the last 10 minutes of the first half. They're 1-0 down, but they can work with that at the moment. It's going to be a really interesting half-time team talk to see whether Arsenal tailor anything, particularly on their left-hand side. Lyon attacking down there a lot. I think Lyon know that Arsenal vacate that left-back spot quite a bit. That's where Lyon's goal comes from. Not sure whether Arsenal will do anything with that, or whether Arsenal will try and make this a more physical game, to try and level it up by making it a game of duels, get this crowd behind them and see what they can do in the second half. 1-0 Lyon at half-time. So second half underway here. Interesting to see whether Arsenal change anything tactically. I kind of doubt it, and really curious about the words that René Slegers would have used at half-time, because these games can be so complicated when you're playing a team with a lot of quality like Lyon. So let's see what Arsenal's response to it is in the second half. But one thing I think as well, they've got to stay calm. I think Lyon are very streetwise, and it's quite an inexperienced looking referee, but Lyon's quality is the overriding factor here. That's what Arsenal are going to have to overcome the most. Let's see what answers they have in the second half. So we're halfway through the second half. It's still 1-0 to Lyon, but Arsenal have created several good chances to change that. And I think when they look back on this game, they're really going to regret that they've created 3 free headers in the penalty area, not got any of them on target. Beth Mead heading over a Frida Mornham cross. We had Frida with a back post header in the first half and the second half. Both have gone wide, and I think there has to be some regret about that, because when you play a team like Lyon, you have to take those chances. But Arsenal, I said there were signs of recovery at the end of the first half. They've really upped the intensity here, and you can hear the crowd are really behind this now. And Arsenal got Lyon under some pressure. But clearly Lyon carry a lot of transitional threat, and Arsenal are going to have to manage the balance between going for that equalizer and keeping the back door shut. Still 1-0 Lyon. Penalty, VAR check. I have to say I'm not really sure what for at this stage. Arsenal had a corner, Leah Williamson came in and flicked it on, and it just missed Steph Catley at the back post. But we had a long stoppage when Christiane Endler was lining up the goal kick. No one seemed to know what it was for, but then the referee was told to go to the VAR monitor to review. Arsenal have a penalty. I have to be honest, I haven't seen a replay, so I don't really know why at this stage, but I'm not arguing. Christiane Endler to move, puts the ball the other side. It's 1-1, and it is what Arsenal deserve based on the intensity they've shown in the second half.
Thank you guys for your incredible support here
So it's 2-1 to Lyon, and Lyon, who've not really had many attacks in this half, but I talked to them about halfway through the half, I talked about their threat in transition, and De Mornay has just powered her way through the centre of the Arsenal defence to put Lyon 2-1 ahead, and that's the sign of their quality. They've been really pinned back in this second half. Arsenal really had some momentum, but Lyon just have that individual quality to hurt you, and they've shown it here with De Mornay, and that's 2-1 to Lyon against the run of play on the basis of this half, but that's what happens when you play a team this good. 2-1 Lyon. So finished here at Arsenal Stadium, Arsenal 1, Lyon 2, and a real roller coaster of a game, because the first half an hour I think Lyon really blew Arsenal away and could have won the whole tie in that first half an hour. I think it was a bit of a shock to Arsenal, who probably aren't used to playing teams who look after the ball so well, who close you down so quickly, don't give you a second to breathe. But signs of recovery at the end of the first half, and then in the second half, Arsenal, you know, they stayed in it, and then they really upped the intensity, really upped the momentum, got much tighter to Lyon players. The crowd really got behind them. They had some big chances. They get the penalty, Mariona scores it, you can feel the momentum, and then Lyon, with pretty much the only meaningful attack they have in the second half, De Mornay just powers through three players and scores. And that's what happens at this level when you play teams like Lyon. They have the individual quality to punish you, even when you're not doing a lot wrong, even when you're on top of them, even when they're not doing a lot. They just have the players and the quality, particularly in that front three, to hurt you. And that's kind of the story of this game, really, because Arsenal were really, really on top. And then you just felt the kind of the balloon puncture. The crowd died, you could see the players did a little bit, and in the end I think the priority was almost not conceding a third and keeping the tie alive for the second leg next week in Lyon. And you know, it's going to be a big task to go there and win, but Arsenal have done it before, and really only being one goal down without away goals, they've got to go there and win. And I think that's the mentality they've got to take into it. It's going to be very, very difficult. Lyon, very, very quality side, but I think we've seen enough from Arsenal today to show they can cause Lyon problems, but they have to be more clinical as well. They missed a lot of big chances today, and again, you can't afford to do that against opposition like Lyon, because no matter how much you dominate them, if you can, they can hurt you. And that's really the story, I think, today. I think it's a great game, really intense game between two very good teams, but Lyon perhaps just had that little bit more quality where it mattered. Full time, Arsenal 1, Lyon 2.